All right, guys, hello and welcome. Very interesting and special video today because we're going to talk about silver with my good friend and trader, Jason Pizzino. And we're going to talk about silver, and which has broken out and exploded higher as we'd expected. If you saw my previous video about silver, we'd been expecting this breakout to the upside. We're just waiting for confirmation. So let's talk about the chart of silver. Join us. All right, guys, welcome back. All right, guys, so Jason Pizzino is here with us. He's a macro analyst, macro cycle analyst, and also he's a crypto trader. Jason, silver just recently broke out. I think literally, I think it was yesterday. It broke out to the upside as it expected. If you saw my previous video, I essentially said that I was waiting for confirmation for a breakout above 23.5, but the higher probability, in my view, was for the uptrend to continue. So I was expecting, I said the higher probability was for silver to continue going higher. By the way, I'll put a clip for you guys just to see. I'll put a short clip of what I said earlier in my previous video.
Silver has held this important double support because of 61.8% golden ratio retracement, and it happens to be the 200 daily moving average. Actually, you could say 3 times support. We've got the weekly 200 as well we're testing. So I think this would be a reasonable level from which silver could potentially start a rally and indeed indicate that this correction is coming to an end. Having said that, though, I need confirmation. So even though I think silver is potentially coming to the final stages of this correction, I think silver is getting close to a potential completion and bottoming of this correction that started way back in May. So I think the odds are increasing that silver is potentially bottoming here. Nevertheless, we have to be careful because silver has to give us a confirmation. By confirmation, I mean it needs to take out this trendline resistance. 23.5 is the level I need to see break.
In my view, well, my view simply is that this breakout, and I'll get Jason's view in a few minutes as well, see if he agrees or not, but my view simply is this. My view is that as long as silver stays above, I'm going to move support up now to about 23 or 22.8. So as long as silver protects and stays above the $23 or 22.8 level, I'm remaining a bull, and I think this is the bottom on silver. I'm looking for much higher prices. In fact, I think silver is now heading up very likely towards the all-time highs we had back in 2011. So I think silver could likely move in the next several months towards, again, potentially towards $27, $30. I'll get Jason's view on this as well. But generally, I've remained bullish on silver from really the last several months, from the beginning of this year. Again, I'm of the view that this is a very bullish signal on silver's breakout, and as long as silver protects and as long as silver remains above support, as I mentioned, about 23 or 22.8, I think this is the bottom, and I'm looking for the uptrend now to continue to much higher levels. Jason, do you look at silver? Do you look at metals much? And I mean, I'm hugely into silver and gold. What about yourself? Do you look at metals apart from crypto and Bitcoin and stock markets?
I do look at the commodities. Look at silver, look at gold. It's not a huge part of my portfolio. However, I did buy some physical silver at the bottom last year.
Yeah.
And I mentioned it to a lot of our members and that sort of thing. You know,
I did too.
It's crazy to think that you could get that low, but there was quite a few signals coming in at that bottom. And what you just talked about here, it definitely looks like we are now on the way back up. I think if we can get past around that $24.70, so $24.70, that's going to set us up nicely to go and test the top again at $26.44. But yeah, this is definitely in a macro uptrend. We can definitely see, you know, we've got weekly lows coming in, higher lows, higher highs. We have a very significant bottom that was formed last year in August, September. And then it's basically been a higher low since that point, forming above, if I look at my numbers here, around $19 an ounce. That was a key resistance level, became support. So we've flipped that and we've held that as well.
I don't know if you saw this video of mine last year, Jason, where I was speaking with my good friend Bill, and we mentioned how the smart money was getting into silver with huge force. And people at the time said, oh, who cares? But it matters because the smart money were buying silver. And now we're seeing, I think that the uptrend is now continuing, despite this quite a significant pullback we've had in the last several months. What about the longer term? Do you think we could potentially be going to all-time highs on silver?
I think it's likely we could test and potentially break the all-time high. I'm not sure when exactly it's going to happen, but I think it's probably going to happen after the stock market's peak, similar to what we had in the previous cycle where they went up Stock markets peaked 2007, and then metals 2011, and then they all came crashing down from that point because the risk came back into the markets and everyone sort of moved back into the stock market. So yeah, definitely all-time high prices. That's what I'm looking at for silver. It's a higher beta play than gold, so I'd rather be in silver than gold, because when they go up, they typically go up together and typically going to make a bigger return on silver than gold.
One last thing I want to mention before I finish this video is this. Again, I'm remaining bullish on silver, as I mentioned, as long as we stay above support at the 23 or 22.8 levels. But let me mention this. I could be wrong about this. Again, we're only dealing with probabilities here, not certainties. So from the point of view of risk, there's always risk, and there's a potential I could be wrong here. So here's what I would say. If silver were to break down below 23 and 22.8 or the recent lows we made, which I don't expect is going to happen. Again, I think it's a low probability. I'm not expecting that. But if that were to happen, I would have to change my mind and become very bearish. But again, that is not my higher probability. I'm not expecting that breakdown. I'm remaining bullish, as I have been for the last several months. I'm looking for much higher prices. I'm looking for the uptrend in silver to continue as long as silver remains above support, as I mentioned in this video. All right, guys, hope this video helps. Also, check out Jason Pizzino's YouTube channel. I'll put the link for his YouTube channel in the description. Do check it out. Thank you very much indeed, guys. Have a fantastic week. Bye for now.